Hello and welcome back to the Movie Attic. I'm Mike, and as I've said a million times before, this is the Attic where I discuss and review movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks for all the nice people out there in YouTube land. Happy Memorial Day if you, I guess, live in the U.S. But unlike probably most moviegoers this weekend, we did not go to see Stitch or Mission Impossible or any of the other top 10 movies this weekend. We instead went to our local state theater, which I believe I've mentioned before on the show. Coincidentally enough, they have an upstairs little intimate theater setting called the Attic. So instead of, the regular movies that you would go see, we went and saw, as you probably saw from the ticket, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I don't have the sheet of paper today, but I do have, and I had seen it before, my wife had not seen it. I have the Eureka 4K of it, which there's nothing on the back. This is part of their like a special line of Eureka. That's the regular case, and there's all you get on the insides, the 4K disc, and it comes with this 100-page book, which is, pretty quality book. Of course, it would have all the great stats and everything you would want to know about the movie. I do know it's from 1920. It's a German film. It's got the German intertitles with English subtitles. It's the 1:33 aspect ratio. I believe there's a stereo and a 5.1 audio deal. It's got a pile of bonus features on it. So, like I said, we went to our local state theater to see this. And if you thought that was sad, it gets even sadder, folks. The movie playing in the main part of the state theater was actually Jaws. And I've never seen Jaws. I know. Shame on me. I would have been 7 or 8 at the time when Jaws came out. So there's literally no excuse for me not seeing Jaws. But anyway, that's not why he called. This movie, it's kind of listed as a horror movie. I would say it's more of a psychological thriller, but I don't have a psychological thriller beginning filmed with the house and everything, so I just left the horror one up. It's hard to explain this movie without spoiling the movie. So, and I know, 105-year-old movie, how can you spoil that? Well, you probably could, because there's a big thing towards the end that would explain, everything else. I will say there's, of course, this Dr. Caligari. He's like I don't want to say a mad scientist, but along those lines. He has this guy that's kind of like almost like a zombie type guy. He rolls into town, and it's almost like a carnival type setting. He's out there, come see the, like carnival barker outside, the tents. And as soon as he rolls into town, though, and starts his show, then there's a bunch of murders that take place. So they're thinking, rightfully so, that it's this zombie-like guy that the Dr. Caligari is like kind of controlling. So there's a bunch of misdirection of sorts, because one of the main guy, and he's right at the beginning of the movie, he's sitting telling this story to another guy on a bench, and so one of his friends gets murdered, some other people get murdered, they catch this guy, and this is the false like the red herring. They arrest this other guy, and it turns out he wasn't the murderer, if that's spoiling anything. Because the main guy telling the story, he sat outside the trailer. This Caligari lives in like a little trailer type thing, and kept watch over this zombie-like guy. And his girlfriend slash fiance, so to speak, gets attacked, and she said, yeah, it was this zombie guy. And her fiance is like, well, it couldn't have been. I sat there at the guy's trailer all night, and he was inside that, there's a box that he's in. He was inside this box the whole time. And that's about probably all I can say without spoiling the movie. I figured this movie is probably not for everybody. Obviously, if you don't like silent movies, and I think this is probably my fourth or fifth silent movie maybe even more than that I've reviewed on the channel. And there was even a part where my wife kind of jumped. So it is, I guess, kind of a horror in that sense, but I would stick to it's like a psychological thriller. And I think the guy that at all these silent movies, which we went to two at this state theater, the Attic, the guy that comes out and reads the little thing and explains the movie, and I think he even said that like Alfred Hitchcock was influenced by this movie. The movie has a very different and, I thought, cool aesthetic to it. Like the doors are triangle, and it looks like a lot of cardboard sets and stuff like that. So I like that kind of stuff. You might not, and you probably were like, I probably would have went and saw Jaws or something. But I'm into these kind of movies, and so I liked it. We had a good time. So if I was to rate this movie, I would give it 8 rolls of pink insulation out of 10. We enjoyed it. Obviously, if you're not a silent movie guy, it's probably not for you, and even more so with subtitles. Of course, it wouldn't matter, because even regular silent movies have, English words down there. Obviously, if you're not into psychological thrillers or / horror movies, this probably isn't for you. But we enjoyed it, and There is another 4K version of this movie out. I think Kino Lorber put it out. I don't know what the difference is. I would assume that being this old, and if you've ever seen some of these movies, some of them are scratched up pretty good, and not in the best of shape. I don't think the picture quality probably is any better. It'd be just what bonus features and stuff like that, and obviously the packaging. I had got this quite a while, well, not quite a while ago, but a few years ago, and this was the only 4K out of it at the time. In fact, I'm not sure. Leave a comment in the comments section if you know. This might be the only silent movie on 4K, as far as I know. But I could be wrong. So if you have this movie, not necessarily this edition of the movie, or you've seen it in a theater or anything like that, leave a comment down in the comments section and tell me what you thought of it. Of course, like I always say, I'd love to discuss it. I love silent movies. I think they're cool. And yeah. So until next time, when I have a completely different movie in the attic, and I guarantee it won't be a silent movie for all you regular movie fans. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.